Hey everyone, I just want to talk very quickly about a YouTube video slash article that I read about a man who was arrested in Colorado for open carry, and the police were actually wrong for arresting him. The law uh, on which the police were relying was mistakenly relied on and actually been overturned a long time ago. And so these police officers, it was at a Pride Fest in Colorado Springs, um, detained a guy who had a holstered gun, held him for a while, and then even threatened him, saying they're going to beat the some naughty words out of him. And what I want to talk about was based on some comments that I was reading in the bottom of the Gazette article, which I have the link down below. Um, a person was saying, oh, what is he going to sue on? He didn't, suffer any harms or anything criminal. And so I wanted to address that by clarifying some misconceptions on, what you're suing police for. When you are arrested or detained, that's a violation of your Fourth Amendment rights to be free from unlawful searches and seizures. This case, being seized means that you're being detained, and also from the physical touching of the officers, that's a form of being detained. And their civil, somewhat counterparts, would be, for example, false arrest, false imprisonment, battery, things like that would be a civil side to suing someone who violated you in this way. And of course, police officers, they get very often the civil immunity from sovereign immunity, and it depends on how the state construes it, but it's something usually to the effect of officers, when they're making discretionary choices, are usually protected unless they're acting, in a very reckless manner or intentional manner. And beyond that, the civil side for suing officers. There's also the federal side. There's like 42 U.S.C. 1983, where someone deprives someone of a constitutionally protected right. And in this case, could be argued that depriving someone of their Second Amendment right by detaining and arresting them falsely would be valid because it's been incorporated thanks to this McDonald Supreme Court case. And of course, its predecessor, Heller, kind of began that trail with D.C. So, assuming someone can push through sovereign immunity, they could very well sue an officer for civil damages, false arrest, false imprisonment, battery, negligent infliction of emotional distress, intentional infliction of emotional distress, any sort of pain and suffering, other losses. In this case, he might just have, reputational things or pain and suffering or anguish from the process of being arrested and detained unlawfully. But he could even have more if he goes with the officers are antagonizing and suppressing his constitutional right, which technically is incorporated now. So, much like suppressing someone for their First Amendment right, Second Amendment right could be one too. And so that was just my quick summary on, things to consider when there's a lawsuit against police. It's not whether or not someone got a boo-boo on their arm because police arrested them. It's the fact that they have constitutional rights to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. And when officers act unlawfully, that's a violation of your constitutional rights, and things associated with that violation are punishable and compensable. It goes just like any other action by maybe a neighbor. If a neighbor or something like that touched you or hit you, you may not have a manifestation of a bruise or something like that, but it's the act of doing that which would at least lead to nominal damages and maybe more. So I hope that clarifies some things about suing police. It's a painful process. Many states have like an appeal as of right, automatically from any of those cases, for whenever someone files a motion that sovereign immunity should be overcome. So they can be very complicated. They can take a long time. You'll see police suit cases take several years, but it's something that needs to be done, and it sucks that it comes from quote unquote taxpayer money. I mean, I'm not really a fan of that, but at the same time, that money is otherwise getting wasted, and I really would hope that someone who sues police for violating their rights or causing actual harm, you know, that they would get so much money that police would have to sell equipment. To me, that'd be great, because I I very much prefer a police force which is not able to actively tear up people's rights. And right now, that's most of the people. Police are employed doing are going after people for victimless crimes, because that's where the money is. That's where fines are. That's where federal grants are. For example, drug war. Or tickets. There's no money in finding a rapist. There's no money in finding a child molester unless there's a grant. For some federal sexual, sexual fight grant or something like that. Fighting against child abuse, something like that. But generally speaking, the money is where the victimless crimes are. Tickets, drugs. Follow the money. That's what police are doing, and it's just unfortunate. So take care, y'all, and I'll talk to you later.